Oh, that is like the most awkward camera angle I think I've ever like I just can't figure out how to get it to where it's like pointed in a way that I need it. Maybe like right here. No, because it's not even showing my face, dog. Maybe like maybe like that. Does that work? Because today I'm gonna be dyeing my hair. And I wanted to get a video of me doing it. Don't ask me why. If anybody wants to see it, I mean, shit, whatever. So, open up my... I always do Manic Panic. I love Manic Panic. I use, like, the blue lightning because I like a more platinum to work with. Like, usually I use a toner, too, that, like, helps with the bronziness of it, but, yeah, no. Sometimes it turns out really well, and other times I'm like, I didn't leave it in long enough, so this time I'm gonna do it like in like smaller intervals. Wait a couple minutes and then go up, wait a couple minutes and then go up, because I want like an ombre effect. I'm usually pretty good at doing that, but last time it did not take the way I wanted it to at all. It's a real shame, because I like wasted a whole bleach kit. Well, I didn't waste it, okay, it did lighten it a little bit, but like, it didn't do nearly as much as I wanted it to. So this time, I'm gonna be a little more careful and leave it, because I get like anxiety where I'm like, it's been in too long, I need to take it out. I don't know. Because I don't want it to be like fucking crazy, but like even in the packaging, it blew. Kinda love it. The last one I got wasn't one of the blue. I've been doing the blue, and then the last one was like just a regular bleach kit, so I think maybe that's the reason it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, because usually I do the blue so that it's like light. It's like I like it like white at the bottom of my hair, because I like a harsh bottom layer. So get purple. Let's see how this one turns out. I'm usually, like I said, I'm usually pretty good at doing it. It's just last time wasn't that good, so I don't even know if I'm gonna cut like any of this video because I'm lazy, so we'll see. I've been thinking about things that I could talk about while I do this. So a while back I did talk about like some of my experience going to a Catholic church school. A Catholic church school that I will not name, but I can talk about in more detail now. So, when my mom got married, she moved up north with a man who I consider more of a father than my actual father. He's a very good man. She took me back from my grandma because I had been in my grandma's care because my mom had me when she was so young. So I moved like 2 hours away from anyone and everyone I knew. Everything I ever knew in my life I moved away from. And of course, that would cause some behavioral problems, right, for any kid, because that's like a really harsh change. But when I ended up going to that school, my grades obviously dropped because, you know, I was basically what would be like the same as being adopted. Like I didn't see my mom a whole awful lot when I lived with my grandma. So it was like a whole new world of like, it was like I got adopted. And that's the only way I can put it, where it's like I was taken out of everything I knew, all of my friends, all the family I lived with, everything like that, and put in a completely different home with step-siblings and just people that I didn't know, you know. So, of course, my grades suffered. I was not paying attention in school because I was 9 years, well, I was 8, I guess, when I started 3rd grade there. Because I was 8 years old and I was confused and I didn't know what was going on, right? Normal. Anybody would be confused if they were taken out of like a situation like that. Like as an adult, if I were taken out of my life and put somewhere else far away without my like consent, having to deal with completely new people, a completely new school, a job, or anything like that, I wouldn't do well. Like that would be a lot for anyone, I think. But anyway, I started school there in 3rd grade. 3rd grade wasn't too horribly bad. I moved schools like every 3 years. This was like the first school away from my grandma's house that I went to. I was only there for 2 years. I stayed from 3rd and 4th grade, and then in 5th grade I moved to Braceville, different school, and then in 6th grade and 7th grade I lived in Gardner, and then in 8th grade I moved back to the town that I'm in now. So, moved around a lot when I was growing up. So my mom always said she didn't like it when her house got too dirty. Too dirty? Gotta get another house. Not new anymore. Not new, not interesting. Gotta get another one. Which, you know, nonsense, but whatever. It's funny to me now because, like, I just bought a house and I kind of get it, where it's like that new house feel kind of disappears, and now you're just in a house that you're paying for, and it's not cool or interesting or fun anymore. It's just your house, and you're in a lot of debt. Don't get me wrong, buying a house is like the best choice I ever made for myself, because renting is fucking garbage. But anyway, Catholic church school. It wasn't the best time ever, not gonna lie. So, I've talked about it somewhat, but I didn't talk about it in super big detail. But I was put on Ritalin. When I started going to that school, because they thought that me not paying attention and me being like upset that I had to like move my entire life was me having an attention deficit disorder, which, you know, in adulthood I kind of wonder if that's the case. But at the same time, it's like, I don't feel like that was the right environment to assess, like, whether or not I had an attention deficit disorder. I don't think that like, situation was a good situation to judge my mental health in, given all the adjustments that I had to make. I've been waiting to dye my hair, so my hair is, like, horrible right now. But anyway, I moved to that school. They assessed me in an unfair environment, my mental health and stuff, and I don't know if you've ever, like, I'm sure I have a lot of people that will see this that know what it's like to be put on ADHD medication, but I was put on quite a big dosage. Very suddenly. Like, looking back at it, it's like, wow, they really did that. But what I didn't know until I got like way older is that my grandma, when she went up for a parent-teacher conference, the teacher that they met with said that there would be a line of kids at lunch that had to take their medication. And I do find it concerning that there was a line of children waiting with their ADHD medication to take at lunch. I think that the fact that there was a line full of children waiting for Ritalin is kind of crazy. Like, I think that's actually insane. I think that there's nothing okay about that. But it's fucking nuts, is it not? The idea that they just had like a line full of children that were like 2nd through 5th grade waiting for their medication at school. That something seems wrong about that to me. Something seems a little crazy about that to me. Anyway, I was on that medication relatively short term. Like, I want to say I was on it for maybe 6 months, but I was on such a high dosage of it that it made me an actual zombie. Like, it made me not speak. It made me not enjoy things. Like, it really fucked with my head to have to be on that shit. And, I do have a lot of vivid memories of, like, going to mass, and we would all sit in the dark and listen to creepy church music, which probably wouldn't seem creepy, right? If you weren't in a room by, like, in the dark with a bunch of singing children. And I'll try to clip a sound bit of the music that we would sing, because imagine, I'm gonna clip a song somewhere in here where there's children sitting in the dark, singing in the silence of the garden. Not my will.
but yours be done this day. All the palms at his feet, with songs of praise so sweet, do not matter anymore. They came to take away our Lord. In the silence of the garden, Jesus knelt to pray.
And then they're doing like Hail Marys in between that, and they're like, just the idea that by itself, I feel, as an adult would be pretty creepy. But when you are messed up on Ritalin and you're zombied out of your mind and you like can't even function normally, sitting in the dark with a bunch of singing children doing Hail Marys is creepy. Like, I have vivid memories of like just sitting in the dark, because that was before they got the church built on to the private Catholic church school that I went to. So we were just in the gym, and we wouldn't be sitting in the bleachers. We would be on the floor in the gym in circles, and then there would be parents in the bleachers, or like adults and teachers in the bleachers. Which, why? Like, I don't know. Like, looking back at it now, I'm just like, what the hell, man? What was that? What the hell was that? You really had a bunch of kids just sitting in the dark singing, like I said, me describing it right now isn't going to sound weird until you, like, actually try to imagine it in your mind. Because when I think about it as an adult, I think that it's very fucking weird. But going to that private Catholic church school was also fucked up for other reasons, other than the fact that they wanted to medicate all the children. Like, going to that, they would say shit like, your pets aren't going to heaven because they don't have souls. Like, they were very Catholic in their beliefs, and they were not nice. Like, they just weren't nice. I don't know how else to say it. Like, they weren't nice to kids. And I know that probably sounds like a very Catholic thing for some people, but like, what the hell? What the hell? But my upbringing for 2 years was that, and the medication that they put me on made me so paranoid that I was afraid of my own grandma, who raised me. When she came up to see me one summer, she came up to stay the night, and I was so whacked out of my mind on Ritalin that I was afraid of her. Like, I was afraid of my own grandma that raised me from birth, which is insane. Like, whenever people ask me, like, my opinion of putting kids on medications like that, I always say, only for, like, really severe and, like they really need to be helped in some way. Like, it's gotta be some real bad behavior before I'm like, yeah, medicate the kid. But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how they could do, like, I kind of wonder, like, how many of the other kids had an experience like mine there. Or did they all grow up just to be normal, like normal, well-functioning adults because maybe they've been in that their entire lives? I don't know, you know? Just having that be 2 years out of my upbringing is just weird to me. And when I think about, like how medication like that maybe affected me mentally or emotionally or anything like that, I just kind of wonder, like, if I would be a different person today had I not had that experience, and if I had not gone through that. Because looking back at it, it is a very bleak memory for me. But, I mean, it's also the fact that I had to move away from, like, everything I loved, you know? That makes that such a, like, a hurtful memory. And because I was, like, I've read somewhere that, like, doing, like, intense changes like that to children that are around the age of, like, 8 and 9 can result in a lot of, like, really big issues. And I think that I've adjusted relatively well as an adult. But, like, I was not well adjusted when I was, like, 20, 21, 22. I don't know. It's hard for me to really give a good idea of, like, I don't know, who I thought I was going to be when I was a kid in comparison to who I am. I've had a lot of experiences in my life that I feel like contributed to the fact that I'm a lot different than I thought I would be. Like, That's one of them. Like, when I was in high school, I was taking, like, parenting classes and child development classes, and, like, I thought I was going to be married with kids by the time I was 23, and, like, I had my whole life planned out. And then when I entered, like, my early 20s, it's like a lot of the shit that I went through as a kid, I started getting, like, not flashbacks, but, like, emotional baggage from all of that. And I do kind of wonder, like, what parts of my childhood contributed to, like, that downpour of emotional, like, turmoil I was going through in my early 20s. Because when I think about, like, all the shit that happened, like, when I was, like, 21, 22, I thought I was past it. And then going into, like, my mid-20s, I, like, went off the rails, man. Like, I, like, started doing a bunch of drugs when I had been straight edge my entire life, and I feel like that by itself is really weird for me. I don't know. But I kind of wonder, like, what I held on to when I was really young that made it into my adulthood without me realizing it, because there's, like, I've gone to therapy. I've gone to therapy. I'm not diagnosed with anything. The only thing that I deal with is post-traumatic stress, which is understandable given everything that I went through when I was a kid. And when it comes to my mental and emotional health, I consider that my problem. Like, I don't make that somebody else's problem. I might talk about it, and I'm allowed to talk about it, but it's like, I never expect everyone around me to cater to my feelings just because bad things happen to me. And I've, like, had conversations with the people about this before where they're like, well, you can't blame the victim. It's like, I don't consider myself a victim. I don't consider myself a victim because I overcame everything that I've gone through. Maybe that sounds pretentious, but I feel like making yourself a victim of those situations just perpetuates the idea that there's something wrong with you when you can move past it. You really can. And I know that sounds like very, oh, you're depressed, get over it. But that's the thing, you have to put in the work to get through those things. It's not just, oh, this happened to me and I'm stuck with this for the rest of my life. It doesn't have to be like that. And that's my belief on that. Like, I absolutely believe you're allowed to hurt over something that happened to you. But when it comes to, like, hurting other people and having a problem with everyone around you and being incapable of, like, living your own life among others because of something that happened to you, I don't think that equates. I just don't. Like, I know the saying, hurt people hurt people. I get it. I do. I completely understand. There have definitely been some times in my life where I hurt people because I was hurt by things that I went through. But you know what I don't do? I don't just go around hurting people. I hurt people that hurt me. And that's why I don't consider myself a victim. And I know that, like, hurts a lot of people's feelings when they're like, oh, you're mean, aggressive. You say too much. And all I have to say to that is, don't fuck with me then. It's as easy as that. And it's not me trying to cater to my ego when I say that. It literally is, if you leave me alone and you don't fuck with my life and you're not horrible to me and people I love and care about, I'm nice. So I don't have any problems with any other people, just this one person. And it's crazy to me. Because it's like, yeah, don't get me wrong. A lot of things happened to me that made me fucked up. But you know what I don't do? I don't go around hurting everyone around me and using my past as an excuse to do that. I don't do that. That's the crazy thing about people that don't want to hold people responsible for the shit they do, where it's like, you know, they're never going to change if you keep enabling them. If you keep catering to this idea that because something happened to them, they're allowed to act that way, that's not good for you, and it's not good for your friends. And I feel like holding people responsible for the things they do is important. And more so, if somebody hurts you, it doesn't mean you have to forgive them, I'm sorry. If you want to live your whole life being angry that somebody hurt you, you can. And a lot of the people that caused me real life damage, that made my life miserable, that made me want to die, people like that, I don't think I'll ever forgive them. And the thing is that I made peace a long time ago with the fact that I don't have to forgive them at all, ever. You know who I do have to forgive? I have to forgive myself for being stupid and letting people like that trick me into thinking they were my friend. That's what I have to forgive. And I've done a good job of forgiving that. I feel like I did a good job of forgiving that by being friends with women my own age who like me, that aren't here to take advantage of me. Like, it took a long time for me to even be able to be friends with women, just because that bitch did that to me. And a lot of people completely disregard what that does to your head, but I totally didn't want anything to do with any other women for years because of her. Because, well, what do I know? Maybe they'd turn around and say they were never my friend, like this bitch did. Never my friend. No, you were definitely my friend at one point, and you were a shitty one, and pretty much my entire friendship with you was just you complaining about things. You complaining about things and talking about boys, and like, that's the thing. Like, out of everything that I've gone through in my life, all of the horrible things that I've gone through, the most damaging thing was being friends with somebody only to be betrayed by them, and for them to be like, oh, we were never friends. We were never friends. We were never that close. Fuck you. You were going around telling people we were twins. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Don't say you were never my friend. You were my friend. And you fucked my man behind my back when we were broken up for like, we'd been like a month since we slept in the same bed. Crazy. Then you scam on all his friends. Then you cheat on him. I have no respect for it. I don't. I just don't. And it's crazy to me all the drama that's happened lately in my life just because of this person. Like, I gotta tell you, like, this person is honestly one of the worst people I think I've ever met in my life. Like, just the way she acts and how she excuses her behavior just because somebody was mean to her when she was growing up. Like, oh, was your mom mean to you? Because so was mine, and I don't go around being shitty to people. It's just crazy to me how many excuses people let people make just because they cry. Like, oh, you cry? I don't cry a whole lot, but I did try to kill myself because of her. So, as far as I'm concerned, we're even. Because, you know, when you have 20-some people messaging you every day, telling you what a horrible person you are for posting about Amber fucking around on her ex-boyfriend, and, you know, I'm just so mean. Just so mean. It's funny because me calling her out for what she did was the first thing, and then she immediately jumped to mocking my disability and threatening me, and then said she didn't. I plan on putting some clips in with this because it's fucking crazy to me that people are this stupid, that they just listen to whatever somebody tells them because they're so absent-minded and they don't understand how people work. Crazy. So fucking crazy to me. Crazy. I do plan on doing like a full video on that. I just wanted to talk about shit while I was dyeing my hair, so got to watch me dye my hair a little bit. Feels weird. But yeah, I plan on doing a full video on all of that, actually. Things have gotten kind of quiet the last like week or so. I really don't read a majority of what she says. I do answer questions to my inbox about things that she says. Ultimately, she has the same like 4 things to say about me, and I have like a million things that I could say about her. And I will, so there's that. Anyway, I'm gonna shower. Thanks for dyeing my hair with me. Alright, so this is the finished product of me dyeing my hair. I need to do it again because it's not nearly as light as I want it to be, but getting it to be like platinum white in one turn was a little optimistic. But I did get it done, and I like it a lot, so this is what I look like. I'm gonna go on a date, so I'll talk to you guys later.